Yeah, good.
Wanted to see if there was a way to attach files. Ah, there is. Yes, yes. Here we go. Good. Let's see. From where?
Oh,
I'm trying to attach a file. It's asking me, though, where that file is located.
sounds like a door opening. Something squeaking.
Let me see. Hold on one second. Because Andrew reached out when I sent the Maharaj kind of devotion for his Mahasamadhi. Andrew reached out and sent the ultimate accomplishment, which is a Siddharmeshwar Maharaj. I put it in my like little morning reading thing that I do, and I thought I would share it if I'm able to. Let's find out. And maybe you've already read it, I don't know. But I thought it would be cool to, let's see. Oh, you know what? Because it's going to say you can't share a file because you're there. Is it doing anything? Sign in. Valid email address. Oh boy. Yeah, it's not going to do that. All right. Okay. Well, then what I do is going to share this link and hopefully people can download this, the ultimate accomplishment. Here we go. Share copy link. And if I put that in the chat, everybody should be able to access this. This is Sri Siddharmeshwar Maharaj, ultimate accomplishment. And I don't know if it's new or not new or what it is. So, but like I said, I put it in my little morning meditation reading for Kindle. You should be able to just click on that and that should take you to it.
Where are you going to put it at?
I just put it in the chat. It says me to everyone, and you just click on that, and it should take you to the document. I'm trying it myself right now to see if it actually does. User authentication failed. Oh, because I have to be me. Yes. And there we go. Oh, and then it asks for authentication from the phone. That's so ridiculously silly. I'm just trying to go through all the motions to see. Yes, it's me. There you go. Add or confirm your recovery email. No, not now. Let's just get to the document, please. And there it is. Yay. So it does work indeed. I don't know if you all are able to follow all those steps, but if I share my screen, there it is. Sri Ramakant Maharaj, ultimate accomplishment. And it's, I think it's a book.
Mm.
But like I said, I just started putting it in my Kindle to read in my morning readings that I do on the metro. Oh, it says share request. Yes, I would like to share because I gave you the link. So let's share it. Share. There you go, Alan. It should. I didn't notice I had all these files. You asked to share it a couple times, but now I have said yes, so you should be able to get it. This request no longer exists. Oh, okay. But all these other items are good, yeah? Yeah, okay, good. So anyway, just something that Andrew had passed along, and I thought I'd pass it along to everyone.
How's Andrew doing?
Andrew's doing good. He said he's doing well. And then he passed along this document. I was actually surprised. Some of the people that I emailed the devotional to Maharaj, they were like, hey, can you take me off this list? I haven't been to satsang in a long time. I was like, oh, okay, very good. Jai Guru.
That's it.
When Maharaj says this, it's like, okay, we're at the final destination. And then we desire to get on another train because it's very bright and shiny and looks like it might be fun.
Oh.
And that's why
Well,
somebody asked in the YouTube chat, they said, why does it take so long for people, or, what's happening, and why don't people focus and do all this? And I sent the quote from Maharaj that said exactly the why of that. And it was, I'm gonna find this real quick. I can quote it exactly. Yeah, he says, the instruction is very simple. Remain with your selfless self. Just the feeling, just die, just die. So why most people can't finish in 1 or 10 or 20 satsangs? Is any missing ingredient, or do we not follow the simple instruction to the letter? And I quoted Maharaj, when it comes to the crunch, generally people are not so keen to turn within and be quiet. They are more comfortable with the old ways of body knowledge. They find it easier to discuss and debate the meaning of reality. This is pointless.
yes.
And as long as I'm believing I'm a body, I'm going to need it to be sounding logical. That's just the truth, because I'm still listening to my mind as if this mind is like some kind of great overseer, or like I'm going to some great sage, basically. That's, I treat my mind as if, okay, mind, this seems like the reality, but what do you think about it? And the crazy thing is, mind came along with the body. Mind only knows and only can project images, thoughts, ideas, whatever you want to call it, thought stream, with body knowledge, with body. And that's why it's endless. The body knowledge, you can start going down and saying, oh, Sri Ramana Maharshi, he's really got it. Everything's good together. And then you listen to some video over here and it's like, oh, wow, but this one sounds really good. And then, oh, Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, let's read that. And then we're just acquiring. And we never just sit, because every single one, Sri Ramana Maharshi, Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, Sri Siddhameshwara Maharaj, Sri Balse Maharaj, they say one thing and one thing only. Keep quiet, remain with yourself. Investigate your own self. Your existence. Your existence is the only capital you have, this sense of existence. So find out who exists. What is this sense of existence? and no need to walk around a mountain 100 times, or like Maharaj says, there are people who will stand in the Ganges or Ganges, I'm not sure how exactly the pronunciation, and just stand on one leg and let the water just run, 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 and it really demolishes their body because they're believing that I am performing this very spiritual thing. And people will gather to watch this. Wow, this Yanni is out there, you know, in the Ganges, and he is standing on one leg and the water is hitting him and he is just like one with everything. But this is all body-based knowledge. Prior to being this, you didn't know about the river, you didn't know about the body, you didn't know about any of these things. So anything that you know now is absolutely illusion because it came along with the body. And the only thing that you need to know is your sense of existence, and that is formless existence. And formless then means just like water could be poured into the body, could be poured outside of the body, could be poured around the body, could be poured everywhere because it's, quote, formless and just sort of forms. Well, the similar thing, this formless presence, believing yourself to be a body, acts as a time as if you're a body and takes on all these sticky concepts. Like sticky notes. You're a child and you're putting sticky notes, and then other people put sticky notes, and these are the concepts that you're living by. And then Maharaj says, no, 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 you're not body. Okay, now where are your sticky notes going to stick? If I'm not body, then nothing to do with the body is true. And now I have to discover, how am I not body? I turn within, subtle sense of presence. I use the attention to identify the sense of presence as myself, and that wipes out the whole body and the whole world instantaneously. So I say, oh, I'm more like this presence than I am this body. And then for a time as I'm sitting, just sort of presence with presence, concentrating on the concentrator. Even this presence I am not. The presence is the knowledge of existence, but that who exists prior to the knowledge of existence, for the sense of existence to appear, I am that. Whether the body is here or not here, I am. Whether the world is here or not here, I am. And that also seems to be another common misconception, is that the world is going to disappear. When the concept of the world disappearing is simply that now your spontaneous existence is all that you're sort of perceiving. That's all that's in your perception, is spontaneous action in the moment, scenes appearing and disappearing. So the world, the mental construct and the conceptual world that has flowed along with the thoughts of I am living a life in a place, in a world, as a body, this dissolves. However, it's not a magical, like now I'm walking on clouds. No, someone in Cura actually asked if, you know, they say that to a realized one, the world disappears. But it's not like, oh, you're blind now and suddenly there's nothing and you're just walking around like in a daze. No, it's that the concepts are no longer sticking to the body base. So you're no longer believing yourself to be a body in a world. There's spontaneous action in the moment. There's speaking and listening. No one actually speaking or listening. And scenes that are appearing and disappearing. There's no mental construct of this is a world, like this is a solid thing, because you understand very much that it's just a long dream. The body is allowing a dream to appear before the formless presence, and the belief for a time was I was a body within the dream, and now I know myself as the background, so to speak, that the dream is appearing in. Again, just like when I lay down and sleep.
Yes.
For a time, I appear to be a body in a world. I take on all the characteristics and I take on all the experiences of that dream body And then when I wake up, I'm like, oh, it was just a dream. But all the experience seemed very real. The body that I acquired, formlessly, of course, I know when I'm sleeping that I'm formless because the dream consciousness, if you want to call it that, has created the world and all these objects have appeared within it. But none of it's true because when I wake up, I know, oh, it's not true. And so here, the formlessness is attached to a dream body or a waking state dream body, sees a world and says, oh, I'm in this thing. No, this is within the formlessness that you are. And there's no need to mourn that I'll never experience again because you're not experiencing now. You, the little dream body that you're dreaming in the waking dream because of identification with a body that's labeled your name that was given to you, there seemingly is a life. There seemingly are experiences. But just as the dreamer that's dreaming wakes up and understands that there was actually no experiencing, you could have a dream and have a whole dream family and a lifetime of little dream family that's going and doing all these things, and then you wake up and you realize, I think that's actually a talking head sound when he says this is not my beautiful house, this is not my beautiful wife. You know, how did I get here? Like, because you wake up from the dream and you know, oh my gosh, like nothing was true. And when you know yourself in a real sense, that's the waking up. You know yourself without the use of body, mind, ego, intellect. Direct experience of your own selfless self as the subtle sense, just I am, sense of existence. This has appeared to you. But it has to be direct investigation, because if I give it to my mind's going to say, well, that sounds very wonderful. I'd love to get to that state. What can I do to get to that state? I'm almost there. But that's why Sri Ramana Maharshi says, hire the thief to catch the thief. It's never going to work. I say, okay, mind, how do we realize ourselves? The mind has no idea. But loves acquiring body-based knowledge. Because remember, the more body-based knowledge you have, the more layers of illusion you're trapped under, the less likely it is that you're going to directly experience your own selfless self. And that goes back to Maharaj saying, this is final destination. Your ultimate truth. That's it. That's the truth. Discover this for your own self. Sit quietly, mantra, meditation. And that's all you have to do. That's it. Now you know yourself. Anything else is just adding layers of illusion, which makes it less likely for you to directly experience your own self.
John, if the mind believes the illusion and it doesn't surrender to what is true, the real truth of who we are, which is the selfless self, will that mind continue to have energy beyond death?
Mind doesn't have any separate identity. It can't like do any of those things that you just said. Mind is a flow of thoughts, and you, the selfless self, are identifying with the thoughts as my thoughts and I am thinking. But the mind can't like, unless you, because you're giving power to the mind, unless you pay attention to the flow of thoughts and direct you away from your own selfless self, the mind has no power.
Well, all the concepts seem to make it real, in the illusion, all the conceptual identity make it appear real, even though it's not real. So wouldn't that same kind of conceptual energy continue? Because
if you know yourself
there's
in a real sense, then where do these concepts stick? That's the
no,
thing. The answer to every question is to remain with your selfless self, and that just die, just die. This is the answer of all questions, because no questions arising. You're paying attention to presence, and then the you that you are is the black hole that sucks in everything, including the sense of presence. So there are no concepts here. The concepts are believing the flow of thoughts in the mind as these are my thoughts, and it's about this that I am seeing using this body, and I want to sort of figure it out. I want to logically interweave. But again, think of the dream character in your dream. Even if the dream character in your dream figured everything out, when you wake up, it's finished. So you could have gone round and round and round and figured out the knowledge of the dream. Even the character says, oh, this is just a dream. And then you wake up, but nothing was true. You remain with your own self. And whatever is passing by, whatever is happening, is just spontaneous action in the moment. And there's no concern. Because there's no one there to be concerned. If there's a concern about what happens to the mind and does it carry through and all this, right away, if you know yourself in a real sense, you're formless. So mind, the concept that mind is in here, somehow in the head, because I believe myself to be a body, and therefore I believe that there's a brain that's thinking, and this mind is like somehow the energy of this brain. But when I know myself in a real sense as formless, then the world becomes your mind. And all the characters in it become thought. And so you say, how does this continue? There's no continue, there's no starting, there's no stopping, there's no time, you're formless.
But Ramakant says, take advantage of this lifetime.
Yes, to know yourself in a real sense.
As if you don't, you may have a rebirth to get it next time.
Well, and he also says, if you don't recognize yourself, then there might be a rebirth, but of course that's not true. So it's like the concept of, oh, if I don't know myself, then I'll just have to be reborn as an ant, and then the ant gets stepped on and I become a mouse, and then the mouse gets in a trap, and then I come back as a rabbit, and so forth. I think it's like they say in Sri Ramakant Maharaj, like 9 million species. And it's the day of 1,000 deaths because you continue to go through all these bodies until you then again get a human body. And then you have a chance to know yourself. And that's why Maharaj says this is a golden opportunity to know yourself in a real sense. You have the faculty to now say, oh, I am that, and then investigate. But to say that there's another dream, there's no actual dream now.
Mm-hmm.
The formlessness that you are, the space in this room, 100,000 years from now, the space will have not changed. It will not have increased or decreased. They may have torn down the building. Maybe there's no building here, but that space, see, the concept is that the space is confined within 4 walls, but when the walls are knocked down, the space is space. The concept is that presence in the body, when the body can no longer sustain the essence, the presence escapes the body. But presence is just like the dream consciousness that is creating the entire world and animating everything. And just as in a dream, you know, oh, that all came from myself. When you know yourself in a real sense, this all comes from yourself. This entire apparent world and all the apparent people are you. Because it's occurring within your long dream and brought about by the sense of existence. Oh, I exist. Knock, knock on the door. Who's there? Nobody's there. But somebody had to be there to say nobody's there. For I am, I exist, sense of existence, just I to appear. You had to be there, or to whom would it appear? And see, it's not Russian doll. If you think about it with mind and you think about the reality based on body-based knowledge and trying to construct body-based knowledge with a concept of reality, then yes, it will appear as a Russian doll. But if you remain with your selfless self, that black hole, there's no question of, is this actually myself? Or is this what happens to me when the body's gone? Or it's almost a struggle just to speak from this place, like you're like pulling teeth almost, because it's nothing, and not the concept of nothing. But absolutely, if you, Jaguru, if you try to use mind and body-based knowledge to construct a concept about what reality is, rather than directly experiencing your own self and remaining there, then questions will appear. And as long as you're holding this body, and when I say holding the body, I mean the formless presence is here. It's animating and moving and all these sort of things. The body is going to go with the 5 elements. There's going to be disturbance. And the mind, the flow of thoughts, is going to try to interpret each and every experience based on a personalization of the experience. And in reality, there's no personalization at all. Personalization is a concept. Individuality is a concept brought about by identification with the body. When you no longer identify with the body, then where do these sticky concepts stick? You do your job, do your duties, take care of all your responsibilities. Scenes are appearing and disappearing, spontaneous action in the moment. If it seems like you messed up on something, oh, okay, fix it. If you're stuck in traffic, okay, I'm stuck in traffic. No need to think about this. Oh, look, now traffic's moving again. If I sit and take the touch that I'm stuck in traffic, it can be a miserable experience. Years and years and years spent stuck in traffic in my mind. Stuck in traffic. Oh, look, traffic's moving. Oh, traffic stopped again. That's why one of the nicest things is like Google Maps, because whenever traffic gets too heavy, Google Maps will tell you, nope, you haven't lost a single minute from your destination. But if you go with the flow of thoughts, oh, I'm not going to get there till Sunday. I should call my boss and tell him that I'm not going to be to work for at least a week because the traffic's just horrible. But Google Maps says, nope, haven't lost a single minute. And that's the difference between the mind and the concepts of I am having these thoughts, and these thoughts or this world is being interpreted through the mind. And see, that's the most silly thing. The mind cannot interpret the world. The mind produces images and all these things based on memories, based on the false. That's why Maharaj says your files are all corrupt. And the antivirus is meditation. Because every single file was brought about by, I am someone, I am something, this is something, I'm having this experience, and you're nothing. You're formless. And yet you're relying on this flow of thoughts of wrong information, wrong files. And the antivirus software, remove, 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 mantra. And that's why Maharaj says, you are disturbing the peace. You are the virus that needs to be removed.
But you can't remove yourself.
Well, you can remove everything that you are not. Just like, you know, the water, if you put gunk in the water, you can remove the water and get more to the pure water again. Because these are add-ons. These are things that are not you. The illusory layers of thinking, of thoughts, of worries, of all the illusory problems. And yes, body, holding a body, there may be issues that the body is going through. Physical, emotional, mental, whatever. And as long as you just remain with your selfless self, and you understand this spontaneous action in the moment, or even if you go into the body-based knowledge of nothing lasts forever, and you just know, okay. And at this point too, this is where devotion to the master is very important. And many times a day I'll say, oh, master, thank you,
Yes.
thank you. Even today, the parking space, I had a very nice parking space. I said, oh, thank you, master. This is a very nice space. Because you're bowing down to your selfless self.
It's different from taking the touch, though.
No, it's not taking the touch.
Yeah.
You say, oh, thank you, master.
Just appreciating being present, I guess.
The lunch, very good. Oh, thank you, master. Thank you. Bhajans during lunch. This is a way of devotion. You know, when I'm eating lunch, I have the bhajan running because this is a devotion. And now it's so automatic that I don't even think about it. It's like, okay, I go to the microwave and microwave my food and then come over and click, boom, bhajan's going and I'm eating.
It sort of makes it sound like it makes a difference when you appreciate something, but it's also, I guess it's just appreciating yourself being whatever comes up.
Well, I mean, you could almost say that when you're grateful, the mind doesn't sit there and bother you with all these various little things of that's what's wrong. Like reality is perfect. And everything that's added, and you're like, oh, I don't like how cold it is. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like this. There's no satisfaction. So you're feeding power to the mind. Just like the dog is barking. Well, the dog is going to bark If you sit there and get irritated about the dog barking, then you're taking the touch, you're taking the impression of the dog barking. And the dog will continue barking in you. Like, oh, this dog, it's barking. I can't believe this dog's barking. Why don't these people control their barking dog? And da 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 da. Why? Don't disturb the peace. Remain with your selfless self. And this is for everything. Because every experience is pick up the water,
But it's a little
drink,
different.
put it down. Go ahead. You said it's a little different. What?
It's a little different you can appreciate some things and be grateful, but you can't quite be grateful for the dog barking.
No,
But
but you can say, Master, this dog is bothering me, but I remember what you said, to remain with my selfless self. Don't let this dog bother me.
use
You can
that as
dialogue with your own self, especially your own master.
like an
You know, this sense of presence is that you are. So why not use the body form to have the devotion of, okay, Master, this situation seems to be happening, but I know it's not true.
So then you start appreciating your self presence rather than what's going on, I suppose.
Well, remaining with your selfless self is the best, because it is a literal, there's no other way to describe it. It's like a black hole. It just sucks in everything. And there's just absolute, just and then from this position,
And there's still like
spontaneous action. Go ahead.
doesn't it still feel like there's motion and form being present? Like
I mean, when you don't identify with a body, there's just scenes, and it's like the train. Good
well,
example.
I guess
The
what I'm
train.
saying is only feels that way if you think about it that way. Then
Well, again, you get on a train, and like I do, and going to the metro and going into work, I don't